What does freedom of speech mean to you?
Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech means the right to be able to express yourself. But the right to be able to express yourself does not exclude the possibility of there being consequences. If you say something that triggers someone, you say something that, touches upon their sensibilities or prods a sore point in them, then obviously they're going to react. So freedom of speech will have consequences. But if you go around and you tell people what they can and can't say, it gets on very dangerous ground. It's like if something hurts somebody. I mean, the Buddhists, for example, have this precept of right speech. What does that mean? That means you don't gossip, you don't judge, you don't stab people in the back, you don't use foul language, you don't lie, you don't abuse the power of speech in any way. You respect it. You respect your word. And, that's a very good place to start. Freedom of speech, but within that context. Because if you honor the word, then the word honors you. And if you confine your speech within the realm of right speech, as defined, say, in a Buddhist context, then the power of your word grows. And this is a remarkable thing, that when you respect that and honor that, and what happens is your word starts to gather power, and it becomes more than just speech. Because speech is just the utterance of words, and there's words, but then there's something else behind the words. If you chatter, if you're one of these people that chatters all the time, you say a lot, but don't actually communicate very much. Because a chatterer has no depth to their words. It's all just chatter. It's a frequency of chatter. Recently I was in a meditation retreat where for 10 days nobody spoke. And then afterwards when they spoke, it was so beautiful where they were coming from and the things they said. So freedom of speech is like, it's not, by controlling what people say, it's not really the remedy to anything particularly. What has to happen is we have to actually be that way. We have to be considerate of others. We have to be kind towards others. We have to care about others. We have to reach that place in ourselves. And policing it, like there's a lot going on, isn't it? Oh, you can't say this. You can't have racial references. You can't ask somebody where they're from. It might trigger them. You can't make, certain kinds of jokes. You see, the thing is, it's not really what a person says that makes it right or wrong, or hurtful or not hurtful. It's the volition. What did the person intend? Did they intend to hurt? Well, in which case, okay, that intention is what should naturally create the reaction. But if you try and legalize it and formulate it, you end up with a heavily controlled society that's frightened to communicate and express itself. And that's not good. Say with racism, there's so much anti-racist propaganda that everybody really has become a lot more conscious, like, you know, about being racist. People don't want to be seen as racist, and in one sense that's really good. You know, that's brought about a consideration, a care about it. And then was in some places, same with, you know, lesbians and gays and transgender people and all the rest of it. People are more conscious of them, and so that's pretty good too. But you can take it too far, and that's what you've got to watch out for. That people must be allowed to express themselves, because sometimes it's only when you hear yourself speak that you actually get what you mean. Because when you think it inside your head, it's different to saying it in somebody's listening. Like someone could go fucking racist cunt or something in their mind, but if they were to actually speak it to a person, it would be entirely different, because it would be in that person's listening. So, you know, what society, or and kind of society, Western society, intellectual bourgeoisie society, is trying to do is to find ways of making life better. And one of them is by creating codes of speech. And it's quite confronting, and not necessarily the way we want to go. Although certainly there's good aspects to it. We should be more careful about each other and don't go around upsetting people. You know, and to be more considerate is, you know, would be a wonderful thing. But telling people is the thing. And sometimes you read these things and the way that they're expressed is so hateful that they might as well have not bothered, because they haven't made anything better by being like that. So, as long as it harm none, speak freely. As long, you know, and as long as you're prepared to take the consequences, speak freely. As long as you realize that your view is just a view, speak freely. As long as you realize there is no objective truth, speak freely. You know, as long as you're coming from a place of love and kindness, speak freely. And if you're not, shut up, basically, would be good. But with that, all words left him. Speak freely.